What's up, guys? Mindless again, back with a couple more knives to share out of my collection. I've been asked a lot on Instagram to do some videos on this particular maker, and okay, and these are my favorite models from him. These are from Todd Rexford out of Colorado. I'm sure most of you know who he is. He's kind of gained a reputation as the highest quality tactical knife maker, at least from the new school guys. You know, his pieces have just become so collectible, and prices have gone through the roof, and it's just a truly amazing story. And for a relatively new maker, I mean, it's not like he's really new. He's been around for a few years. His pieces have skyrocketed to the top of the tactical knife game. So I grabbed two examples of a model called the Singularity, and these are my favorite models that he makes, and these are both flippers, which are the hottest of the Rexford folders right now. So two different ones. This one is the simpler of the two. It is titanium handle with a Damascus inlay and a superconductor pivot. Damascus pocket clip with standoffs on the clip. Sorry about the focus. And the back. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. A little bit of jimping on the flipper. But action is amazing. This is a hand-rubbed satin blade. And there you can see Rexford's maker's mark. On this side, you can kind of see his that Rexford logo right there as well. But guys, I mean, I basically wanted to show these and have a little discussion about all the hype behind Rexford knives, and is it warranted? And you know, before I owned any, I have a couple other models as well. I just couldn't believe that the prices were so high, and I just couldn't see the value in spending that much, especially for such a simple piece as this. But once you get it in your hands, I mean, you can tell this guy is an engineer, and that's exactly what he is. Once he graduated from college as an engineer, he went into knife making, and truly the craftsmanship of his blades it's truly second to none. This guy knows exactly what he's doing. Most people will look at, like, you know, the transition between materials. I mean this, like, seriously. This is the tightest gap I have on any of my knives in my collection. Literally nothing. You can't feel anything. Not on the pivot. Nothing. And it's important to note, all this stuff is handmade. Todd takes a lot of pride in you know, his craftsmanship and being able to say that it is handmade, and it absolutely is. Action is just ridiculous. Lockup is absolutely perfect. It's just an all-around amazing example of a knife. There's the centering, just dead center. Amazing, truly. I mean, you can look as close as you want, and there is not a flaw on this piece. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely stunning piece. So this was the first Singularity that I got, and once I had it, the hunt began, because you kind of get addicted to this level of craftsmanship. And recently I was able to kind of get this bad boy. This is a hot hammered Singularity flipper with Nichols Damascus, and it's got that circular Damascus that just I go bonkers for. Pocket clip matching the frame, titanium standoffs, and then a beautiful floating backspacer also made of Damascus. This knife, guys, is probably, I mean, this is one of the cornerstones of my collection. The craftsmanship is, I'll probably say this 10 times in this video, it's unquestionable. Absolutely perfect. The action is just ridiculous. I mean, normally for Damascus or samurai blades, you'll notice a little bit of a less smooth action, but not so in this piece. I think he signed his name on the tang back here. Just an absolutely gorgeous example. If you take a look closely at the hot hammered finish, it is unlike any other one I've ever seen. You get like colors, and it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. Honestly, one of the most beautiful knives I've ever seen. And I know a lot of people, some people don't like the hot hammered finish. And I was the same way until I held it in my hand and I saw it in the daylight. But you get like tons of colors coming through. Or you can take a look at the pivot collar, also in the Damascus. On this side, the pivot is there in Damascus. And honestly, this guy, his work is just ridiculous, unquestionable. Ridiculous, ridiculous. Super gorgeous. And again, back to the action. If the knife didn't flip well, if it didn't perform well, you know, there's no way that his reputation would be where it is today. And it is absolutely, absolutely worth it, guys. I don't carry the Rexfords too often just because the value of the pieces. But I do carry them. Hesitant to use them, even though I know better. Todd has a reputation for customer service that is the best, actually. I haven't sent anything back to him for spa because these knives are absolutely in mint perfect condition. But I have a couple buddies that have, and literally he turns it around in 24 to 48 hours. And no matter how picky you are about centering or anything, he will make sure you are happy. It is it's really, really refreshing. You can actually carry these knives. They could take a little abuse, and when you're ready to bring them back to brand new and kind of sell them off or store them away as the art pieces they are, it's no problem. It's no problem. You know, and he's in Colorado, so you can FedEx it overnight, and you'll probably get it back same week. But I wanted to show this one specifically because of the choice of Damascus. I mean, the artistry of this knife is unbelievable, guys. It is absolutely one of the most beautiful knives I've ever handled or had the honor of owning. Truly, truly. You know, and I'd like to pick it apart and say something is wrong, but I cannot find one thing wrong with this knife. Everything is perfect. The detent, that action, unbelievable. Truly. Just a gorgeous example of his work. And I know a lot of people kind of give him grief, and it's not really his fault, or give them, you know, the whole Rexford scene grief because of the prices. But like I said in other videos, you know, pricing is, and value is based on what people are willing to pay. And truly, the hardcore collectors are willing to get one of these pieces into their collection. They'll pay whatever, honestly. And many people don't know that when Todd, you know, does like a lottery knife at like a knife show, he'll charge like $1,000 for one of his pieces, and then quickly that piece will be worth $5,000 to $10,000. When he does his open bid pieces where people can just bid whatever they want, that's when you start to see these astronomical numbers. Like, I think his open bid piece at Blade Show 2015 went for around $20,000. Is the value there? In my opinion, yes. I handled that knife that went for that price. It was stunning. You know, Todd does something really amazing where he understands that the open bid pieces are going to go for a high price. So he intentionally, knowingly creates a piece that is absolutely unique and pushes the boundaries of his engineering skills. He constantly is kind of creating new techniques as far as pivots, lock geometry, lock mechanism, back spacers, handle geometry. If you go onto his website, I'll put a link in the notes section below. Take a look at the work that he does, and you will begin to see how unique and forward-thinking this young guy is. And he's a relatively young guy. The first time I met him, I was kind of shocked on how young he was, because the quality of the work, it just looks like somebody that's been doing it for decades, honestly. And he never is satisfied with the same thing. If he creates a piece, he's going to one-up that piece at the next show. And the craftsmanship, the stuff that goes into the handles on the open bid pieces is just ridiculous. Truly, truly ridiculous. Again, to some people, the value, those prices just seem ridiculous. I don't think so. I think they're fair. I think the Todd Rexford valuation system, the way things are going, I think it's absolutely fair, and I do not think it's a bubble. I think, in my opinion, guys, this is my opinion, I think Todd's going to go down in history as one of the greatest makers ever. There is no doubt that he has an engineering background. It's the simplest things that are so difficult to do that he does in absolute perfection. The spacing, take a look at the pivot. It's exactly where it needs to be. The way the hardware is installed, countersunk, the placement of the pattern of the Damascus, it's perfect, truly. Absolutely perfect. The lockup is perfect. The guy's the real deal, honestly. And if you ever have a chance to kind of examine one of his pieces at a knife show, he's a super cool cat. You can kind of chat him up, ask him any questions you like. He's not stuck up. He's just a cool dude. And his pieces are just absolute perfection. I mean, I can't imagine how many hours went into just creating these scales, these handles. But they're absolutely gorgeous, the way it captures the light. In daytime, in sunlight, it is stunning. Stunning. So, I was able to get, because I get asked all the time, this piece came to me through trades with a fellow collector. And once he said he was willing to trade it off, I had to jump on it. This was my first Singularity piece, my first flipper from Todd. And I am just so honored to get it. The prior owner had sent it off to Todd for spa, so when I got it, it was in absolute perfect condition, and it's stayed that way since. This piece, this second one, came on a pretty monster trade with Sacco over at Recon 1, who I recommend, and I've done it in many videos. If you ever are looking for these high-end pieces, he's probably the best place to start your hunt. He was able to get this on a trade with another collector, and then I kind of jumped in and he offered it up to me for some pieces out of my collection. So it's just awesome. So much fun, dude. Honestly, it's the funnest thing in the world is trying to create the deal to get that piece you want in your collection. Yeah, you got to give away some knives and some cash, but at the end of the day, when I was holding this in my hand, beyond stoked. Honestly, beyond stoked. You know, I'm going to take a second to kind of talk about Sacco again. The day that this deal went down, so I'm in Southern California, about an hour and a half away from his shop. I'm in Orange County and he's up in LA County. When we talked on the phone and came up with the deal and said, okay, deal, let's do it, rather than risking sending this piece and another piece I got too in the trade by FedEx or UPS, he actually sent one of his employees to courier this to me directly. The guy sat in traffic for 2-3 hours to bring it to me and hand deliver it. And guys, that's the kind of, you know, customer service that Recon 1 does. Obviously, if you're in other states or whatever, that's not going to happen. But he will always ship overnight, completely insured, the earliest delivery the following day. And that, to me, especially with these high-end pieces, means the world. That moment when a knife like this ships to you, until you have it, you're basically holding your breath and hoping that it arrives safely. Even though it's insured, you just can't replace it. The money cannot replace this piece. And Sacco has a very clear understanding of that. So, guys, if you ever are looking or hunting or you're having a hard time getting the crazy stuff, call Sacco at Recon 1. He'll take care of you, okay? Anyway, that was my 2 cents on that. Back to the knives. Gorgeous. Honestly, I'm almost speechless when it comes to Rexford stuff. It's stupid. At Blade Show, he had 2 open bid pieces. They went for astronomical money. Rexford's knives are collected throughout the world, and his reputation as the top maker it's the same throughout the world. I mean, look at this hand rub, how perfectly straight it is. Perfect. Look at the plunge. Absolutely perfect. Perfect, guys. Just a great, great piece. And this, honestly, now as a user, if you hold the knife, it is a killer piece. Super ergonomic, super comfortable in the hands. Even the clip on the standoffs doesn't, no hot spots. And I know why, you know, Zero Tolerance made the 0801 based on this model. It is just an absolute design, an exercise in perfect design. Todd nailed it with this piece, and again, I'm just honored to own these, honestly. Just ridiculous. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. Look at the pivot on this thing. Just ridiculous. Perfect. Honestly perfect. Anyway, I'm just like in awe looking at this knife porn, so forgive me. Guys, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out this video. If you have any questions at all about this video or any of my past videos, please let me know. I try to answer all the comments in the comment section. And yeah, I'm stoked to be able to share these with you guys. This was it took a while before I got my first Rexford, and now I completely understand why there's the hype, and the hype is absolutely worth it. Deserved. This guy makes sick knives. Sick. Perfection. If you dug it, throw me a like, subscribe. I try to put out a video once a week. Gatherings coming up. That should be fun. I'm going to try to shoot some footage out there and kind of work it into the next video. But again, thanks for stopping in. Looking at 2 Singularities here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, fellas.